We use today.
Yeah.
We use Dr. O'Keefe anyway today?
We have Dr. O'Keefe as our collaborator.
Okay.
We have a nurse practitioner and one full-time RN and a part-time RN. And I'll be honest with you, we're basically operating a jail/urgent care. I'm sure we have a lot of inmates with medical issues on a daily basis.
And it's worked out great, right?
Yeah, we haven't had, since Dr. O'Keefe's been on board, and we've come up with this system that's been working very well.
Just as an observation, do you think people commit a crime because they need medical attention? I mean, is it possible?
Well, if that's the case, if that's the case, then you might have to do some Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde things. I mean, no offense to Mr. Hyde's here.
But I mean, it's an observation.
I think the inmates that we get are in poor physical and medical condition because of their lifestyles. And because of their lifestyles is the reason why they get arrested.
You're right. Can't slide over, I hit my head.
People aren't getting arrested just to get a free meal.
Not that I know.
Not yet.
Now, there is no cost sharing for this, right? I mean, we pay this,
Correct.
once they're a resident, they are,
Well,
we are responsible for their medical care. And
We are responsible whether they have health insurance or whether they don't, and we determine up front if they do have health insurance. If they go to the hospital, we make sure we get Medicaid rate, and if they earn it, an inpatient, we send the medicals over to DSS, and we try to get reimbursed. DSS tries to get reimbursement for.
And we're getting a little more successful with that.
Yeah.
That's been happening. I know Chris and Tim have been chasing this for a long
Mr.
time.
For a long time, we've been chasing this.
Right.
I think Mr. Schrader wanted to make sure we were checking into that.
Yeah, because I mean,
The youth portion.
right, yeah, under 26.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying,
Right.
that's a different issue.
I mean,
It's another
Chris, what I had a question with is you're asking the person to get arrested if he has insurance. Most of them are on some kind of, drug or whatever. Do they really know if they have insurance? Do they know if their parents have insurance?
I would think they. I think most of them would know if they have insurance.
Can we make the extra effort to ask their parents?
I'll be very honest with you, most of them don't have insurance.
Well, and something like that in terms of what we're on the agenda today. I mean, we can.
Right. No.
They're checking into all that.
Right. No, I understand that. Okay.
We don't really want to get off base in terms of what we're trying to accomplish right now. We have a motions on both. Is there any other discussion?
That was 25 plus malpractice.
Well, we're doing yes.
Yes.
We're holding them harmless. But
We're having the malpractice plus holding them harmless. In case of a lawsuit.
Rob, have anything to add?
No, and that'll all be contained in a contract with Dr. O'Keefe. We'll put that language in that we provide medical malpractice insurance and hold him harmless.
And that's okay with you, Don?
Yeah, just so the committee understands, the medical malpractice has a $10,000 deductible. So if someone has a, pardon me, Sheriff Ron Hamburg, a lawsuit, comes forward, and I pay $10,000 no matter what. So three, then I'm limited to three. So three bad meals, and I don't get any pay.
So you're held up.
And that was the reason. Is just while I've been with the county, you've been the bearer of or whatever. I'm sure bearer is the right term, but holder of responsibility for legal costs and so on.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, it's worked out in the past well, and we really appreciate it too. Any other questions by anybody? On Ways and Means, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's carried.
Public safety, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried.
Tim, could you adjourn here?
Sure. Motion to adjourn public safety.
Motion. Second. Bruce.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Opposed? Go adjourn.
Committee, will you convene adjourn?
Human Resources.
Yeah.
Call the Human Resources to order.
We'll get those out now. Thanks, Dennis, for running public safety.
Sure.
I think we're going to temporarily appoint you.
That's fine. Dennis, after your years on this, I realized halfway through, no, I did. I did. Right? No, I stopped.
And I'll move in.
Hey, Robbie.
Hand me down.
Is he moving down? You take your
I think so.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're, I need a motion to go into, executive session. Well, they're fighting over the motion out there, so, you know. Yeah.
All right, I'll second the Ways and Means.
And who's gonna second it on,
I will.
all right. So the motion is to appoint as acting director of public health Christina Kane at a salary of $60,000.
Effective November 25th.
Effective November 25th, that's the motion. So in Ways and Means, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried in Ways and Means.
Human Resources, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, so that's carried. Second thing is I need a motion to go out for a search for public health director for Herkimer County.
Ways and Means. Good. I'll second it.
Bernie's Ways and Means, Bruce is a second.
Now today.
Human resource.
Second. Human Resources. Fred and Peter.
On Ways and Means, all in favor of going out for a search for a public health director?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried on Ways and Means.
Human Resources.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Those both are carried.
Can we adjourn Ways HR?
Motion adjourned later.
This will be put in front of the legislature when?
Monday.
Second to adjourn.
It'll be a special session of the legislature.
Special session will be Monday. What time? Is that
Noon.
Noon.
That's good.
Okay.
We still have Ways and Means, guys.
Okay. Human Resource people are dismissed. Yep.
Did you adjourn?
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
We discussed it.
I actually talked to her.
No, I know, but my point is, we have her on there.
I thought I heard 12.
Yeah, noon.
What's it, Monday? Special session.
There's a lot of camp coming up with that.
No, absolutely.
Didn't they say 12?
Yeah. Not very, same stuff.
So you look for trying to order for.
Yeah.
That's how you do it? Yes. Then you have to. What it says. I don't understand that. I put that in.
Okay, we're going to go into executive session again, but I wonder if we should do 43 first. So. Sure. Look at number 3. We talked about this before. CSE had request regarding Countryman. I sort of thought we had a feeling on these, but Jim tells me that we didn't do anything.
Right now, I bring it up to the county.
Yeah, all of a sudden I just lost my train of thought. We didn't do anything. Is that what we did? We tabled it. Okay. So if you recall, the CSE is requesting certain things for the CHHA, LTC, and Country Manor employees. First of all, the first one is, does everybody have it in front of them?
Give that to Peter.
I don't think we. They just me? Okay, so it's just me.
I mean, everybody had them 2 months ago.
Okay, the first one is Herkimer County willing to pay cents on the dollar for personal and sick time.
Okay, you know, all this is executive session if you'd like.
Oh, that's right, this is.
Negotiations.
This is negotiations. Thank you very
And
much.
so is number 2.
Yeah. So is number 2?
Yep.
Oh, it's all executive
I'll
session.
make a motion to raise the meeting into executive session.
All right.
To discuss
To discuss
the contract negotiations with CSEA for CHA and Country Manor people, and the particular discussion of upgrades for 2 individuals, and the...
Well, there might be more, there might be more than 2 individuals. but
Yeah, discussing upgrades.
Finalized up.
No, it's got to be specific people. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr.
Correct.
Colonel.
Yeah.
People, not positions.
Well, then you'll make it
For up to 3 people.
up to 3.
Hey, you can,
Well, it has to be for specific individuals. If it's just you're discussing.
No, it's for
Oh,
specific
No,
individuals.
we're discussing,
Okay. Policy open, keep that closed.
What part of specific individuals aren't we understanding? And then the real property tax department is part of it too.
2 particular...
Yeah, 2 particular people. Specific individuals.
Specific
Although I'm not-
individual.
I thought we were
I thought they were
discussing up there.
gonna be positions, but there might be some discussion, so.
Okay.
So we've got a first and a second doing?
Yep,
Did you get them, Jim?
yep.
Because these guys are so quick, it's hard to keep up. So we have a first and a second to go into executive session regarding those. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We're in
These programs,
talking about
the way they're
Talking
going to
about
do it.
what?
They set up that funding.
What I'm saying
Water
is the
and
feds and the
soil
state
water.
are designing programs that are
Bringing
only
it
gonna do
back
it through grants
for funding.
for specific things, rather than their support staff that they've usually had in these agencies to do the work. They're expecting soil and water districts to
One
do
way
the
they're
work.
getting around not doing the work and dumping it
So
on
so I
soil and
guess,
water
I guess
or whatever else.
my point is, if Ted can identify a specific project that has a grant to it and needs logistical support monetarily to get that grant, that'll be a conduit for that money to get here, come back and talk to
This
us.
is a conduit for that money to get back here as far as the federal money with what they're looking to do.
Well,
We do other.
I'm saying, he doesn't get more money now, but if
sorry.
Ted can earmark specific project, come back, and then the whole legislature talk about funding it through the life of that project to get that money back into Herkimer County.
What did everybody get final on?
That's right.
Same as last year, so it's considered outside agency, we all have the same.
109? But the problem with that is, last year they had a $30,000 cushion to start the year with. And this year, they're gonna end up with $1,500, so that means next year they're gonna be $27,500 in the hole.
But that's what managers have to do.
I know that.
We've
I know how it
asked.
works.
If they don't get that money to keep that technician, and they lose that technician, then they're gonna lose that that grant money that they were expecting to get.
Well, I'm
It's
gonna,
gonna help them in future years.
Well, then,
I didn't understand, that was all explained, I think I'm a pretty smart guy, didn't understand any of it from what he was saying. I don't think there was enough specifics.
He needs to keep that technician on board in order to apply for that future grant money. If he loses that technician, he loses that extra $30,000 that he's gonna get in the year 2014.
They need 26,000 to qualify to collect 13 that they're gonna lose.
that's not a good return on an investment. That's a third of a grant.
We just
Do
did
you
that with the
understand
sheriff's
this
department.
benefit? I don't understand.
Well, it's-
You gotta put up money to make half of it.
I know it is.
NRCS.
It always was.
And
What I don't
they're just playing
understand,
games with it.
Hang on,
Everybody across the state has cut their soil and water budgets, so is that gonna make that money available to them? That's the answer I don't have. That's why I checked with all my buddies to see what they were doing. Very few are at last year's level. A few increased, but the majority cut them.
Okay, so there's some interest though on the Ways and Means Committee to do something more. I could not vote on it because I don't understand, I don't get it. It doesn't, you know, when, it didn't make sense to me,
Right.
so.
The state doubled the amount of contribution for the AEM program from 30 to 60 grand.
Yeah,
What they've spent over this year, they will qualify because some of that's, you can't use 100% of it. You only use 50. That'll qualify them for 47,000 something.
But what we're saying, Fred,
So
if
2 years
that
out is when
doesn't
they can
happen,
collect the 60.
what's gonna happen, because there's, what was stated by Ted at the meeting was that if this wasn't spent, that the portion, I understand the portion you're talking about, but nobody's gonna spend it, so there's gonna be excess money there. What he mentioned, it was gonna go into those other categories, which is 100% funding. And I think what we would probably need to hear from the state is what they're gonna do. And I'm just quoting what Ted said. I don't think you were here that day, Vern, were you?
No. He wasn't here.
No, he wasn't.
Well, I was, but Ted didn't do a very good job
So-
explaining that.
Well,
Am I saying what he said, though?
It gets so technical, and
I
as
know.
far as what the games they're playing with it, as far as NRCS and stuff, cutting back the
They're
funding.
going after the counties, Vern. That's, the state's going after the counties again. That's the whole thing,
That's the game.
to justify them cutting money.
I'll tell you what's happening by them stepping back. Just this Round Street project, that was NRCS. Look down a year or two down the road, that's not gonna be there. And they're gonna expect, say, Soil and Water to be picking up assisting with something like that. A lot of these municipal projects.
Then is there a revenue stream that
Well, whose
whoever they're
responsibility is that, the
assisting?
county or the municipality?
Yeah, that's my,
Yeah, I think Pat brought that up in the meeting, the revenue,
Yeah.
how many perk tests, I think we did one last year.
I mean, is it up for the county to pay for this?
That's a minor fundraising thing. It depends on what's going on construction-wise or anything.
Well,
Well, the state kind of limits what they can do for a revenue source, because I know last year, they tried selling flower bulbs and got in trouble with the state for the revenue they generated.
They got,
States out the sales tax if they sell it. Why are they charging sales tax?
well, it's not only that, they felt
Well,
they
no,
were
not
competing
really.
with local, local merchants or whatever,
Yeah.
depending on what it was they sold, so then they limited what was going to be sold.
You know, again, if the sheriff goes after a grant, we know what we've got to match up front before it starts. Where it seems like this grant is more after the fact, and then you're playing
Well,
catch-up.
I guess is the
You
way
know,
they're setting it up,
before you
basically, that's what's
collect.
happening.
Can we do this?
You're
We're
seeing
going
that.
after the counties, guys. I mean,
or
let's
we
be
have a
honest.
contingency fund. I mean, if something comes up and they can, I mean, can we look at it through that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were getting at.
You know, if Ted can come down and say, in dollars and cents, I need this much more money just to sustain this program to get this money,
I think
and
he
so we
needs-
can see the dollar.
All right.
He needs to explain it better.
Yeah.
And it's hard to understand why, when you're matching 60 for 30,
Yeah.
why we need to give 90, an extra 90. And that
We're not
makes sense.
saying
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me.
Extra 60, yeah. But why, but you're only getting another 30,000 extra, but why are we giving another 60? We should only have to give 30.
Right, if it's a man.
And I still have the other question too.
Dennis, I think the
Well,
other
that
thing.
applied to only a small part of it, and I can't explain.
No, and I
it.
understand
Get
you.
it pretty
That's what I'm
far.
saying. I
I'd like
think
to-
we really need to understand.
I
And then what's the
understand.
state gonna do if the money isn't getting, are they end up gonna
Second
give
find a
it
job in
to the
another
other
solid
counties
water
at
district.
100% money?
Unless the person's retired.
Or are they gonna steal it for their general fund? The state.
And you've got,
Right.
and it's time, and you've got outside agencies that are asking for money, we've told them no.
Okay,
Soil and
now,
water comes under a very different
we do that.
category of county law. Very much so.
No, I don't need that lecture again.
Well, I'm just 30, but.
So you guys will go back to your board and stuff, and come back to us. I'd like a presentation to understand it.
yeah, it wasn't brought up the last time. But here's another thing on that issue.
Okay,
They're eligible for 60,000 reimbursement this year. They're gonna get 47 back. So that means there's 13,000 left out there, but they have to spend double that 26.
Right.
Okay, they can buy a vehicle, so if the county needs a vehicle here, I think you can get it through them and get half of it paid for.
okay, Jim will look at that.
How are we gonna use a soil and water vehicle?
I don't know. Maybe get them another one and let them transfer their pickup down here. I don't know how, but I'm just saying, if you're buying vehicles, maybe that, half of that could be paid for from up
None
there.
of those, we'll look into it, Bruce.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
just, it's thinking out of the box, and we like to do that.
We have no purchase for vehicles. Poor Rich has had them until 1947. And he's still.
Is there anything else? So you guys are gonna come back with helping us to understand that we do have, oh, John, we do have contingency that we can deal with next year.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, on Ted's behalf, I just got just a very, very fast story. And I think I told you people this before in regards to that flooding. I called a man, he came up twice and guided us through that situation where that flooding has been going on for 12 years, involving 2 veterans also in their backyard. I'm talking about big time flooding. Okay, so on behalf of him, I don't know what the complaints are or what their feelings are. Wait.
Yeah, there's no.
As far as the feelings are against him, I'm just telling you that
It's budgetary. Wonderful, does.
the man does his job well.
He's excellent. The whole department's excellent. It's just a matter of taxpayers funding specific things and whether we need to do it. We have no complaints with that department. We don't have any complaints with any.
Just another positive aspect of soil and water is the fact that in most counties, the legwork for ag districts is traditionally not in soil and water districts. It's either in a county planning department alone, or possibly even through their cooperative extension. Where here, this has fallen on soil and water, and they've done an excellent job of doing data collection that's necessary for Carol out here through the years. They've been the one that was, because years ago we didn't trust cooperative extension to do a good job, and we didn't have an inside planning office, so they shouldered it and never complained about it, and always did a perfect job.
One of the things too, we've probably got one of the smallest soil and water units in the state. We have 3 individuals down there.
Well, we have one of the smallest.
Lots of everything.
Right, I know, but you've got other counties that are smaller, and you're looking at, as far as personnel and whatever else.
Consolidate it, call it mud.
If we can understand that granting better, I think it'll help.
We always have to look at consolidation. And I just can't figure out how much sales tax it's going to bring to it.
Motion adjourned.
So you guys are going to do that?
Yeah. Second by
Bruce. All in favor?
He's in charge on the recorder.
All in favor? We're adjourned.